You join us for an amateur tournament here at the Forest Downs Golf Club in England, and we're about to get underway with a stroke play competition. Last night's rain has made the ground very heavy. It'll slow the greens down quite a bit today, and there's hardly any wind at all. Oh, no, that's a bad slice. The ball's landed in thick rough. That's what happens if a shot is hurried and not thought through. We don't see drives often of that calibre. Ball's on the fairway. Well, that was a very clinical, sensible approach, and it worked well. That's a pity. Looked as if it was going to be good, but looks can be deceiving. That ball's deep in the rough. A golfer's life doesn't get any easier, especially when you play shots like that. What a superb shot. Well, that's a beautiful shot onto the green. Oh, that's a splendid shot. If only all shots from the rough could be as good as that. Just look at that shot. That ball's come to rest nicely on the fairway. That's a lovely position to play the next shot from. Well, the next shot should be fairly easy from here. Herman Haas has finished this hole level par. It's just missed the hole. And it's in at last. Player one has finished this hole 1 over par. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Player one leads by 2. That's in the rough. Herman Haas must be embarrassed by that last shot. It's landed in the rough. Well, that's a serious misjudgment. Well, that certainly did the trick. A good lesson on how to get out of thick rough. Now, I wonder how he'll handle this shot from the rough. That's in the rough. Let's see how this position is handled. Well, the ball doesn't look to be too deeply embedded in the rough. The ball's landed in thick rough. Well, in golf, anything can happen. Well, it looks as if the ball is on top of the rough, so this may not be all that difficult. Well, it was in a bad place, but he didn't make a good fist of that. Surely a mishit. Good attempt, but it didn't disappear. What a fantastic finish. The crowds are really loving it. Herman Haas has finished this hole 1 under par. Oh, I don't believe it. Stopped right on the edge of the hole. Oh dear, another good opportunity missed. What went wrong? Well, briefly, far too many shots were taken. Player 1 has finished this hole 4 over par. Okay, on the fairway. That was a very bold attempt. Let's go to the leaderboard and see how things stand. It's level pegging after that hole. No, that's landed in a bunker. Of all the places for the ball to land, I bet they wish it hadn't landed there. Ball safely on the green. Herman Haas must have a smile as big as the Cheshire Cat's after that lovely shot. Well, that was an excellent recovery. The classic example of how to play out of a difficult bunker. Well, it looked as if it was going in. Well, close, but not close enough. Player 1 has finished this hole level par. Herman Haas has finished this hole level par. Let's go to the leaderboard and take a look at the current scores. It's level pegging after that hole. That's nicely on the fairway. They'll be pleased with that. A good day's work. That was a great effort. That ball's on the fairway. Yes, that's perfectly placed. Well, that was a good attempt. Balls come to rest on the green. Well, they're in a wonderful position for the next shot. That was a very confident shot. Great technique. The ball's ended up on the green. Oh, perfect positioning. Well, how about that? That was certainly worth waiting for. Herman Haas has finished this hole 1 under par. Oh, that was so close. Player 1 has finished this hole level par. Let's take another look at the leaderboard. Gary Sidney is in front by a single shot. That ball's come to rest nicely on the fairway. Will the next shot be as good as the last? Oh, what quality! Ball's on the fairway. The game of golf calls for endurance against the odds and the elements. That's certainly what we've just seen. Oh, that was a beauty. That's nicely on the fairway. Player 1 has shown that persistence pays off. That shot was so sweetly struck. Okay, on the fairway. Well, what a position. They couldn't have asked for a better lie. No, that's safely on the green. Now, the next shot is bread and butter to this player. Oh, that's cruel. Could have ended up much better. It's landed in the rough. Well, I think that shot was down to lack of concentration. That ball's deep in the rough. Well, 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 what an interesting shot. It's landed in the rough. Well, no words of mine can sum up that shot. Oh, it stopped just inches from the hole. Bad luck. That was a very confident shot. Great technique. Oh, what quality. Player one has finished this hole 1 over par. Herman Haas has finished this hole level par. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Gary Sidney is in front at this stage by 3 strokes. That ball's on the fairway. Brilliant, brilliant, sheer class. Player one has really hooked that ball. The ball's landed in thick rough. Oh dear, what was the thinking behind that shot? Oh, what a shame. No accuracy there. Oh, no, 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 it's in the water. What a remarkable shot. Ball's come to rest on the green. Perfect position for the next shot. That ball's deep in the rough. Now, how on earth did that happen? Now, that really is what you would call having a plug ball. You'll have to dig deep to get that one out. Well, that looked a very poor attempt. When you're in rough like that, cut your losses, play out sideways, try and get back on the fairway as soon as possible. Oh, sheer poetry. Lovely. Superb recovery. The next shot is quite simple, I fancy. Everything was right there. The result speaks for itself. Herman Haas finishes with an eagle. Well, it's eventually in, as it took an age. Player 1 finishes with a triple bogey, 3 over par. That's right next to the water. You know, just one shot can decide a match. That's in the rough. You deserve to be spanked and put to bed without any supper for a shot like that. That's an awkward position. Tough rough. That was a good shot. Must stay calm. The next shot's not easy. Well, it looked for a moment as if that ball might have been lost in the undergrowth. And that's a good shot to getting out of there. That rough was pretty tough. Herman Haas has finished this hole level par. What about that? Just didn't want to go in. That was okay. That did the trick. Player 1 has finished this hole 1 over par. Let's take another look at the leaderboard. Gary Sidney leads by 2. That ball's deep in the rough. You just feel like burying your head in the sand after a shot like that. Oh, what a drive, a total mishit. It's landed in the rough. Oh, what a shame. No accuracy there. That was a great effort. Well done, well done. That cleared the rough. Simple but effective. Oh, that ball may have buried itself. Well, what can I say? When in doubt, say nout. Well, you can see, that's what you call really in the sand. Well, that's a remarkable shot from a horrid bunker. Now that was a poor putt. Could be looking for a new putter. Well, that was an okay putt. Not too bright, but not disastrous. Herman Haas has finished this hole 1 over par. Player 1 has finished this hole level par. Let's go to the leaderboard and see how things stand. Gary Sidney is in front at this stage by 3 strokes. Oh, no, 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 that's a wicked hook. That's in the rough. That really was a very foolish shot to play. I do believe I can see a blush beginning to appear. That shot was so sweetly struck. Ball safely on the green. Well, that's a great position for the next shot. Oh, what quality! Yes, what an excellent shot from heavy rough. Oh dear, another good opportunity missed. Oh, I don't believe it. Stopped right on the edge of the hole.